Hello and welcome to the Stitching Over the Days podcast. This is episode 30. My name is Constance and I bring you greetings from here in Columbia, South Carolina. I want to thank any new viewers and also any returning viewers for taking a moment out of your day to hear all about my sewing, knitting, and crochet adventures. So you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Cleo, that's Cleo CMC, and there's also a blog where I keep the show notes, yarningoverthedays.wordpress.com, and there's also a Ravelry group, Stitching Over the Days. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to get started because I'm a bit exhausted today. So Robbie and I just came from walking downtown. We went to the market, we went to the Christmas parade, and she's knocked out, but I'm ready to get settled in also. But I decided to go ahead and record while I still had my energy up because I was afraid that I might sit down and not ever pick up the camera. So today's episode, I want to begin with a bit of admin. I want to announce the giveaway winners for the Botanical 1 and 2 books, and also the Skeins of Yarn. And then we'll move into the finished objects, and I'll then move into the work in progress. I have quite a few works in progress, but I'm going to mainly discuss the one I'm actively working on right now because I don't want to prolong the time. And then finally, which I think may be the bulk of this episode, I want to do the year in review for all of my sewing, knitting, and crochet. So let's get started with the giveaway winners. I did use the random number generator to draw the winners. We had 43 voices in the Ravelry thread. Thank you so much to everyone who entered. As I've stated, I wish I could give you all something, but unfortunately I can't. But the random number generator, I plugged in the numbers 2 through 43, not including myself because I was the first voice in the thread, and of course I'm not entering. And it chose number 34 and also number 36. Number 34 was Uluvias, Uluvyas. And the prompt was to share with me your dream project. And her dream project was absolutely stunning. I'm so happy that this pattern is on my radar. And it's Patton's Devercourt knit cardigan. It's a very lush cardigan with beautiful cables and baubles. And I love cables and baubles. And so I sent you a message if you're watching the podcast today. So send me a message back with your mailing address and I'll get your goodies right to you. The next winner was number 36, and that was Eveline001. And her dream project was a pair of colorwork mitts, and those are always such a delight. I've never seen a pair of colorwork mitts that I haven't loved. Yeah, so those are the winners. Congratulations to the winners. Again, thank you all for entering. I really, really appreciate it. Okay, so that's it. Now we'll move into the finished objects. I really had ambitious plans to complete both of those any day sweaters during my 2-week break for the Thanksgiving holiday, but that did not happen. But it's okay because we were doing a lot, and I think that that was too much of a goal for me to even think that that could work. So I did finish one any day sweater for my niece, and the color she chose was Brindle Heather, and this is Knit Picks Wonder Fluff. I used, which I'm wearing my any day sweater today, I used the Rowan brush fleece in the color Nook, but a good substitution is the Knit Picks Wonder Fluff. However, it does have nylon content, and whereas the brush fleece has merino and alpaca, but the Wonder Fluff has merino, alpaca, and nylon content. But the nylon content is wonderful because it helps it to not grow when you wet block it. And this is my stack of sweaters. We'll talk about this elephant in the room very soon. And let me get it. So this is her any day sweater, which is absolutely beautiful. Can you see the undertones? How stunning. as I've stated before, this is a very clever and brilliant design, and I love it so much. And it's a good thing I do love it, because now I'm making a fourth any day sweater for my other niece. So that works out. Sandra of the Cherry Heart podcast told me on my Instagram that I'll have the pattern memorized by the time I get to the fourth version. And that may be true. But for my other niece, I'm going to, with these versions, I made the extra small, and also for the pink version, which I'm sharing in my work in progress, I'm making it extra small because my older nieces prefer a more negative ease, more fitted. However, my younger niece, she seems to be roomy and comfy towards her leggings, and so I'm going to make hers into a small so hers could fit more like my version. And so if you go to my Ravelry page, you can see more so of a comparison of how the small fits versus the extra small. But I also will include footage of myself wearing this version. I did get the okay from my niece to wear this version. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to say about the pattern. I think I've stated it all before. The instructions are very clear, very precise. I encountered no issues, no problems. And that's always good, because you could just work it up and relax, and that's what I've been doing. And so yes, oh, I got gauged by going down one needle size, and that worked out quite nicely. I did wet blot the garment, also using soak solution, and I think I've stated the nylon content. I forgot to mention in the last episode, when I blot this version, it grew about an inch, and so I didn't want it to grow that much. So what I did was I tossed it in the dryer, and all of this is on my Ravelry page about the red version, but I did toss it in the dryer for about 2 minutes, and then I was able to shrink it down back to the size, and it didn't mess with the yarn or anything. And if you've been following me at all any during the break or on my Insta stories, you will know that this sweater gets a lot of wear. Lily gave it the best name. Oh, I meant to say the designer is Lily Kate France, and the design is Any Day Sweater. But she gave it the best name because you literally can wear it any day. I could dress it up, I could dress it down, and I just always love tossing it on because it's so comfy, it's so cozy. It just makes me feel good. I travel in it, I wear it to school, I wore it to the parade today. As you can see, it's perfect for any day. So that's it for the finished objects. I also did just a bit of sewing because I needed more practical sewing. I needed some mock turtlenecks to wear under my sweaters, and I needed more neutral colors, and I made an ivory version and a striped kind of neutral version. And so well, before I get into talking about those sewing projects, I'll insert the footage of myself wearing this Any Day sweater here. Okay, as I've stated, I made 2 Freya tops. And these were actually about to be washed, but I pulled them out the wash just to show them to you. But we won't be doing any close-up images because, I mean, they're not completely filthy, but they aren't clean. So this is the first version, which is a great neutral, but it still has that stripe pattern. And this is the other. And they're from Tilly and the Buttons. Is it blowing out? Yes, they're from Tilly and the Button Stretch Book. And it's my go-to pattern for a turtleneck, because it's not like a turtleneck that folds all the way over your neck, but it is it has a good height in the neck. I was trying to show you an image of the Freya top, which I've shared this top before previously because I've made it so many times. As I stated, it's a staple. Where is it? Okay. I'll get to it. Okay. So that is the Freya top from Tilly's Book Stretch. And I love it so much. So that's what I did sewing wise. I didn't get any pictures of myself wearing the garments, even though I have worn them quite a bit, but I mainly worn them under sweaters and under cardigans. So that's how I've been wearing them. And if you'd like to see pictures of how my Freya tops fit, I do have posts on Instagram. So if you just scroll past, you'll see some images of me wearing the Freya tops, and they just work. I did sew a 5/8 of an inch seam allowance for the Freya tops on my machine with a straight stitch first, and then I followed up with my serger to finish off those ends. And other than that, I followed the instructions to the T, and it worked out quite well. Oh, something new that I've started doing is, instead of waiting until I've sewn all the pieces, I now actually serge the pieces first, and then I will sew, like the bottom hem and also the sleeve hems. I'll serge those first, and then I'll sew them together. I just found that it works much faster and it's quicker. It seems to be more efficient, maybe in my head. Okay, so I wanted to share the current work in progress, which is another any day sweater. And I'm also using the Knit Picks Wonder Fluff again. And this color is Peony Heather, and it's absolutely beautiful. My niece's favorite color is pink, and she chose this pink color. And as you can see, I finished the sleeve. And it's inside out, so you're seeing the knit side. Well, let me flip it for you quickly, because that's why I love this design. You're mainly doing the knitting, but then you flip it and it shows the purl side, which I've stated before is so considerate of Lily Kate, because she stated a lot of knitters don't like purling. So this is the purl side. So I still need to finish those sleeves, which I'll get on, and then the fourth any day sweater I'll be working on while I'm at home during the Christmas break. And so I had that yarn sent to my parents' address, since I'll be working on that then. Okay, so we're gonna quickly, well, it might not be quickly, but I will try not to prolong the time. But I was wanting to look at how much I accomplished this year with my crafting, and I must say that when it comes to knitting and crochet, this has been my most productive craft year, period. Last year I feel that I sewed quite a bit, but the thing is that I was building a staple wardrobe, and so once you have everything you need with the sewing, there was really not much need to do a lot of sewing this year. But I still did sew a lot, because when I put all of the tally together, I was quite surprised with how much sewing I achieved, even though there were things that I wanted to sew this year that I didn't get to, and they're still on my goal to sew one day. For example, a pair of jeans. I was supposed to make the Deer and Doe saffron jeans, and I didn't make those. I wanted to make a trench coat that by Deer and Doe, the Luzerne, I think that's what it's called, pattern, and I didn't get to that. So those are like my main two things that I want to sew, and that's pretty much it in terms of goals for sewing. Of course, I might get goals in the future in the future. But right now, I just really have a goal to one day make my own trench coat, because I can never find the perfect trench coat in stores. And then I also want to make a pair of jeans. So it wouldn't have been a good idea to try to bring everything out of my closet. And also some things, like even the tops, as I have them in a wash, they're just kind of scattered about, either in the wash, in my suitcase, because I have not unpacked yet for my visit at home, and then some are in the closet. And so since this was my most productive year with knitting and crochet, I decided that I'll focus on those items. But I still wanted to share with you how many items I have sewn this year. So I've done 3 dresses, I've done 9 skirts, I've done 5 tops, and 1 pair of leggings. And so the dress patterns, it's no surprise that I made 2 Simplicity 2 444 dresses, one in the tan corduroy, which I made to match my Jane Seymour, and I also made a gingham print one for the summer, and then I also made a Vogue 9279 to match my Elizabeth of York pattern. I meant waistcoat. I made quite a few skirts. I made Simplicity 8699 in green, and also made a blue denim version for my niece. I made McCall 7906 for Minerva Maker Team in a denim color. I've made Simplicity 8175 in green and brown corduroy, which I wear quite often. And I've made the Butterick 5466 4 times in navy, plum, black, and orange, and those get quite a heavy rotation already. The tops I've made are 3 Freya tops in ivory, striped, and gray, and I've made a Butterick 6563 for the Minerva Maker Team, and I've also made an Agnes top in green, which is, and so 4 of those tops are all by Tilly and the buttons. And finally, I made a pair of leggings, which was quite nice to have that practical wear, and that was Simplicity 8212. Okay, I'm just checking the time. I think we're doing good. Okay, so let's get into the garments with knitting and crochet. For knitting, I made, and I'm actually going to include all of the any day sweaters, because I feel really confident that I will finish all of those before the year is out. And since this is the year in review, then I'll go ahead and include those. So for knitting garments, I've made 15. I've made 3 pairs of socks, and I've also made 1 cabled hat. For crochet, I've made 5 garments, and I've made 1 hat. So in no particular order, I'm just going to go through this stack. As I stated, I did take notes, and I typed up the notes because I wanted to be able to go in my closet and pull the items from my closet and not forget anything. And so what I'm going to do is just give you a brief blurb on each of the patterns, and then I'm going to end with the MVP. That's the most valuable player, or my most favorite make for the year. And I'm sure it's not going to be a surprise, but let's get into it. And this stack is in no particular order, and I've mixed up the knit and the crochet. I just wanted to talk about it. And if you want more details on each of these garments, then you can look at past podcasts, or visit my Ravelry page if you don't feel like looking at those long podcasts. And I try to take as many detailed notes as I can on each of the garments. So this would be a very brief blurb. Okay, let's talk about the hats first. This is the Birch hat by Kim Hargraves. Quite beautiful. It's crochet, and it's made with Rowan hand knit cotton. I can't think of the color off of the top of my head, but it's a type of ivory. I've only actually worn it once, but I still quite like it. It's actually really nice. I need to pull it out more. And okay, another hat I made was the cable cap by Woolly Wormhead. Quite beautiful. I made it because I had an extra skein of yarn left over from a cardigan, And I made this as a part of Fruity Knitting's Woolly Wormhead make along or knit along. And again, I've actually never worn this hat before, but again, I still quite like it. I really need to pull out my hats more. So yeah, those are the hats that I made. And let's get into this beautiful, beautiful project. This is the Jane Seymour by Alistair Moore. Alistair Moore is the designer. Is gosh, this pattern, I can't even. It has a place of honor on my mannequin, and it's funny because you'll think by now, oh, I should be used to this garment. No, I love it. I love it. I love it. I have no words except to say I love it. It's made with Alistair Moore's Hebridean 2-ply, and all of the colors are the same except the main color I changed to a bog bean because green is my favorite color. Immediately following my Jane Seymour, I made another Alistair Moore pattern I've been admiring, and the Jane Seymour is from her publication To the Roses, and this is also from To the Roses. And this is the Elizabeth of York. I love this a lot too. I actually think this gets more wear than the Jane Seymour. Maybe it's just easier to just throw on in our weather here in South Carolina, because some days they aren't very cold, but a waistcoat is perfect for those days with the mock turtleneck underneath when it's a little nip in the air. Okay, let's keep moving along. This is the Polina cardigan by Nadia Lewis. I use Cascade 220. It's quite beautiful. It has beautiful cables and lace. And that moss stitch is mimic or seed stitch, depending on where you're from. We call it, is it focusing? Yes, we call it different things. And I quite like this. I don't wear it as much as I've expected I would wear it, but I do wear it, and I always feel really nice when I wear it. So this is more so a recent make, but I'm still quite happy because it's been in my queue for years with it. Okay, this is the Harton jacket by Kim Hargraves, and the yarn is Rowan Soviet DK, and the color is Lantana, and this is from her book Calm. I love this. I like it a lot. So happy that it's finally in my closet after admiring the pattern for so many years. It was such a pleasure to work up. It was so fun. It was so interesting. I just love the cables. I really just enjoyed this pattern quite a bit. Okay, next up is D. Hardwick's Winterfield sweater. I used Rowan felted tweed in the colors cumin and treacle, and this is a sweater that I wear quite a bit because you just have those sweaters that you reach for constantly when you're going on a quick errand, when you're having a relaxed day, and it could be even dressed up just a bit. And so I wear it quite often. I did wear it on Thanksgiving Day also because I thought the colors were perfect for it. It was a nice pattern to work up. I still, I think I've stated that I felt my intarsia could have been neater, but it didn't diminish my love for this sweater at all. This is another D. Hardwick design, which I really like. Again, it gets about as much wear as the Winterfield. It's made with the Rowan felted tweed. I love that the intarsia is on the front and the back, and here on the sleeves. Is it? And this is also Rowan felted tweed. This green is Vaseline green from K Facets line, and this blue is Night Sky by D. Hardwick's line with Rowan felted tweed. Again, both of those D. Hardwick sweaters have gotten quite a bit of wear, so I'm really happy with those. Okay, looks like the next stack is mainly the crochet, and so let's get into it. Earlier this year I made this. This is from Pom Pom Quarterly issue 27. I can't remember the number, but it is the Water Clover top by Isa Casapion. Is that her name? And it's quite nice. It's made with Kelborn Woolens Mojave. I can't think of the color right now. And I had issues with getting this garment to fit as I wanted it to fit. And so I remember adding on more length after the garment was complete, and even adding beading at the bottom. And I think that that was a really nice effect. I didn't wear it that much this summer as I did my other crochet tops, but I'm still quite pleased with it. But it's great for the very, very hot summers we get here in South Carolina. This is the Summertime Tank by TL Yarn Crafts. I used Rowan Summer Light DK, and the color was called Summer. This was a really simple, easy top. I've worn it a couple of times. I find that I typically like to wear it on those days when I'm relaxing at the house. It's just a really comfy, chill top, and it's perfect again for the very hot summers we get here in South Carolina. Because with crochet, when you have those garments, those little kind of holes in the garment, it allows for that breeze to come through quite nicely. I really enjoyed working with the Rowan Summer Light DK, and I want to use that yarn more in the coming spring and summer. Okay, so I think this may be my favorite crochet garment for the year. This is the Aster Top by Marie Wallen. It's from her filigree crochet collection, and I absolutely love it. This is from her, the yarn is Rowan Summer Light 4-ply. I can't think of the color right now, but I enjoyed this project so much. I just loved it, and I wore this top quite a bit throughout the spring and throughout the summer. I wore it a lot, and I'm looking forward to wearing it for many, many years to come. And again, the open laciness of those tops, it allows for the breeze to come through so nicely. It felt so amazing. I think I also wore it on Easter. Yes, I did wear it on Easter, and it was really nice. And it was hot on Easter. This is the Hahana sweater by Lisa Richardson. Again, this is also Rowan Summer Light 4-ply. I don't remember the color name right now, but I cast this project on spur of the moment because I wanted an easy project when I was traveling. And when we went to Winston-Salem, North Carolina for a church conference, so this was a great project for the airport. You don't have to worry about hooks going through TSA. Sometimes with knitting needles it goes through, it doesn't, but that's why I cast this project on spur of the moment, and I love this top, and I actually think that I could get away with wearing it in the winter. So I'm thinking I'm going to layer a mock turtleneck under it one day soon and wear that. I'm including this in the crochet garments because it is a part of Marie Wallen's filigree crochet collection, but there's quite a bit of knitting in this garment. And this is, both my nieces said this is the best thing I've ever made, they think. Well, besides, I guess, the Any Day sweater, since they both put in requests for that. But this is their favorite, and this is the Anemone top by Marie Wallen. Again, this is Rowan Summer Light 4-ply. Well, let's see if it'll focus. Yes, this is Rowan Summer Light 4-ply, and it was such a pleasure to work up. I loved it. I loved that picot edge around the neckline. I think it's quite elegant, and I also found that this sweater works well under cardigans also. This is another Kim Hargraves pattern that I made, and I wear it quite a bit. This is from her. This is her stunning jacket from her Hayes collection. I think it's Hayes. And it's beautiful. It has pockets. I wear this quite a bit, quite a lot. I found that it's definitely one of my most reach for cardigans when I'm about to head out. And also it's cotton in it, but it has a heavier weight because the hand knit cotton is not as light as the summer light. And so I think it's definitely, I count it as a year-round cardigan. This is the Rossetti top by Martin Story. I cast this project on because I was admiring Martin Story's designs in the collection. I forgot the name of the collection, but I also wanted to try out the Rowan Denim Revive. It was a new yarn by Rowan, and I wanted to try it out. And one of my knitting friends, Karen, did a top in it in our knitting group, in our stitching circle, and I really wanted to try it out. And so I chose this project, and I wore it quite a bit this summer, quite a bit. It felt really cool, it felt really nice, and it just really matched and went with a lot of things. It's just an easy top, but I think that the lace and the button front give it such an elegant edge, and I was really pleased with those buttons. They were called denim, cool denim, and I like that they matched the top quite nicely. Okay, we're going to get into my Lopi sweater. This is Couture. It's from Lopi issue 38. I wear this so much, so much. Sometimes more than twice a week. Because sometimes when we have those cold days in South Carolina and also in Alabama, it really is nice to have a sweater that you could throw on. And sometimes the sweater is just so warm, it's just so hardy, I love it, that I don't even need a coat or anything. I could just wear the sweater. This is made with Lopi yarn. They're bulky yarn. Is it called Let Lopi? I can't remember, and I can't remember the number, but check my Ravelry page. I love the halo that the Lopi yarn gives. It's really, really lovely. I made this earlier in the year. This is the Winthrop cardigan by Andy Satterlund. The yarn is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes tweed, and of course, you know, I love this because it's green and it's tweed. Tweed is one of my favorite yarns, or it might be just my favorite period yarn to work with, because I love the flex that appears from tweed. And the lace is also mimicked on the sleeves. Again, it's a beautiful design. I found the buttons, I think some years ago, but I thought that they went with the garment quite perfectly, and I wear this so much. This cardigan gets a lot of wear because green is just a color I flock to. It's in my wardrobe a lot, and I just really like it. I will definitely be taking this home with me during the holiday break, because I think the color is quite perfect for the holidays, and as I stated, I wear it anyway all the time. And finally, we're going to get into the last knit garment, and that is the Freedom Jumper by Wool and the Gang. It's made with a super bulky yarn, and it is pilling quite a bit. But let me tell you about this sweater. I think out of all of the makes that I've shown you, this gets the most wear. And the reason it gets so much wear is because I'm cold natured, and so I wear it around the house all the time. With my leggings, it's just I'm constantly reaching for it, and then I'll just wear it when I'm going out on early morning walks with Sarabi. I think that this is the most worn garment, surprisingly. It's funny because I never wear it like when I'm going places, when I'm going to school, when I'm going to do things. But when I'm around the house, when I'm just walking around the area, I'm wearing this. So I definitely say that out of all of the things that I've made, this is the most worn garment. And it's just so warm. It just feels so good. And sometimes I even sleep in it, because it's like being wrapped up in a very toasty blanket. So it works. I live in this. And also, surprisingly, I know it's like very heavyweight, but I wear it also in the summer. Like, not outside, but when the air conditioner is blasting, especially when I had my nieces and nephews with me over the summer, they love to blast the air. And I was just freezing. But if I put on my Freedom jumper, I was fine. And so when the air conditioner is blasting, I grab my Freedom jumper. And so I've worn it quite a bit. So maybe that's why it's also experiencing quite a bit of peeling. So that is my year in review. Oh my goodness. I can't believe how much I've accomplished, but I'm really, really happy with the progress or the productivity that I've had this year. The only thing is that in the past I would just simply fold my sweaters on the top shelf of my closet, and now since the stack is growing taller, I'm going to now start to store them by season. So I'm going to separate them by warm weather and cold weather, and then I'm going to only put like whatever current season I'm in, then those will go on the top shelf in the closet, and the others will go in the storage until it's time for them to be worn. So let's talk about the MVP. Quickly, I'm going to say I'm working with a new camera right now, and the screen is over here, and I have to remember to keep looking here, but I keep venturing over here, and it's like in my mind I'm like, look here, and then I keep going over here. So I apologize if it seemed like I keep doing that, but anyway, so what's the most valuable player? Who was the MVP out of all of the knits? It's no surprise. It's my Jane Seymour. It is still, I'm still in awe of this garment. I can't get over it. I think it's the most beautiful design ever. And sometimes I wonder if I've peaked because I just think it's so beautiful. And so I'm hoping to, one day, I'm going to still challenge myself in the coming year to take on more challenging knits. I have 2 Alice Star more kits already that I'm planning to make, the Monteach cardigan and also the Mary Queen of Scots. Those will probably be the first cast-ons for the year 2020 after I knock out my Christmas knits for my family. And so those are my plans, and those designs are stunning. They're beautiful, but I still think the Jane Seymour is the most beautiful garment I've ever seen. So I don't know. It might be like if I had an MVP for even next year, I think the Jane Seymour would still get it because I just think it's absolutely beautiful. I think it's stunning. Okay, as I mentioned, we went to the market earlier today, and I wanted to go to support my knitting friend Carla. Oh, I'm gonna say that's the wrap up. It was I think I did a good job of going through them pretty quickly, but if you're interested in knowing more about each of the garments, then check my Ravelry page or previous podcast episodes to see more details about those garments. So yes, as I was stating, I'm as you saw from all of the things that I made, I only have 2 hats out of the entire things I made. And so my friend Carla loves to make hats, and that is just perfect for me. And so because she also sells them, and so I went and I purchased a few hats, and let me go and get them, and I want to show them to you because they're so beautiful. Her Etsy isn't active right now, but she's Mama Bear Knits, And so I went with the goal of finding, and she's in our stitching circle also. If you've been following me for Vlogmas, then she was sitting next to me. And also I'll have some images of her, I'm sure, in the upcoming Vlogmas video. So I got this. I think it's going to go quite nicely with my orange coat. I like this so much. I love baubles. Baubles are just, they're so great. I also got this to go with my green coat. Look at the pom-pom. And then my mom sent me back because she wanted one. And so I just chose this simply because I thought it was elegant. They're beautiful. Look at the pom-pom. And finally, I got this one because I thought it was just fun. So, that is it for today's podcast. I will be doing quite a bit of editing today. For those of you who've been following along, I am participating in Vlogmas. This is my first time doing vlogging thing. I thought I'd never get into it because it seems like quite a bit to always cart along a camera to capture moments of your life. But it's funny because I think I'm slowly getting into the swing of things. And also, most people are really friendly when I ask, can I get some footage of them? Or if they would like to appear. I was hesitant to do that, but I haven't encountered any problems. And even when I'm taking my camera along in different places, I think that vlogging is now a normal part of our lives that no one even bats an eye. I have a different camera for when I'm vlogging. It's more of a handheld camera. Because I don't want to take out my nicer cameras when I'm vlogging because I would be so hurt if something happened to those. But my vlogging camera is quite efficient and it's working quite well and it's quite portable. And so I've been doing that. And so because I'm doing Vlogmas every day, I think I'm going to do it up until Christmas Day. My nieces, they told me to continue the entire month of December because I will be celebrating my birthday on the 29th. But I just don't know if I will be burned out by that time because it's quite something to edit every day. And I was just like, no, I don't know how I'll be doing it up until the 29th. Or what I may do is take a break and then maybe just do a quick vlog on my birthday. I mean, I'm like, who knows? Like, why am I vlogging? Are you all planning something for me? So we shall see. But overall, I've been enjoying it. It's been enjoying seeing the finished project, just seeing those memories that are being captured and looking back. And my mom and dad, they've been enjoying it also. And my dad, he was watching them, and my mom also. So it's really nice because I can share it with them even though I'm not with my family like at the moment. I will be traveling home soon, but for them to see little bits of my life while I'm here in Colombia. So that is really, really nice. So, okay, I feel like I'm chattering a bit much now. And considering I have quite a bit of editing to do, I'm going to end it here. But before I leave, because I know everyone is not into vlogging and you might not be following along with me on Vlogmas, so this may be the last time that you see me this year. So I want to wish you all a very happy and Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you all. I want you to enjoy your family, your friends, your loved ones, make special memories, and also have a very happy, prosperous new year. And I will see you all next year. Well, next year for the podcast. But if you're with me for Vlogmas, you'll continue to see me. Bye.